Welcome everybody to the Confession Post podcast. I am Morgan Rector,
And I am Von Dark.
and just another reminder of what the show is about. There's a website called confessionpost.com where people go to confess things that they may not reveal to the people they're closest to because they're afraid of being judged or being embarrassed. And of course, people can comment on it there, which means it's open to scrutiny, it's open to anybody's judgment or evaluation. And but we're doing it as a podcast, so that's what we do. Um, so I'll kick it off with one that actually I can relate to pretty well. It's entitled "Girlfriend in Another Country." So it goes, I have a girlfriend in another country. I'm so in love with her. I plan to go meet her soon. I just don't know how to tell my mother. I feel like she won't accept our relationship and disapprove of her. What should I do? Unfortunately, the person didn't say what their age was.
Yeah, so like there could be like some discrepancy like in that realm, but all in all, like most parents like shouldn't really disapprove unless there is like a huge like age discrepancy because like that's usually the deal.
That's going to be a hard thing to live with, though, when your parent disapproves of the person you're dating or the person you married. And
Oh
like,
man, you can't please everybody though.
no, because it just seems like that never really goes away. Like if they don't,
No, it doesn't.
like I used to know a woman and her mother was really unhappy she married this guy, and that didn't go away after they were married. Uh, I mean, he wasn't exactly a scumbag, but he was kind of abusive, not physically abusive,
Yeah, just
but he,
like yeah.
yeah, he was a dick.
He's a dick.
So yeah, and but I don't know, her daughter insisted on marrying him anyway, and just like his tradition, the family of the bride pays the dowry, and so
Oh
that made it
God.
even worse for her mother, right?
Oh.
So, but yeah,
Yeah.
I relate to it because I have I've had an on and off girlfriend for a year now, and she lives in the States, and that's because that's the way it works out for me. For some reason, I don't have any luck with women who live here in Toronto. They always live in other parts of Canada or parts of the States, and
Yeah.
meeting lots of women through my main podcast, Human Monsters, because most true crime fans seem to be American and female. So
Yeah.
yeah, and COVID's made traveling really difficult.
Oh, fuck
So yeah,
yeah.
so that's
And there's like that whole Omicron variant now, like, which is whatever the fuck that is. Like, who knows what's going to happen with that?
I haven't been following the news, so how much has that been spreading?
I don't really know either. Like, honestly, like, I got my vaccinations. I got like the fucking, shit, I can't even remember what the fuck I got, but it's the same one. Like, um Pfizer. I think I got double Pfizer and like all this other stuff is coming out. I'm like, you know what? This is it. That's where I stop. Like I did the thing. I did the thing and this is it. It's funny, people are all like open arms about like the fucking passport thing and it's like you don't even know you had a passport all this time. My parents just like dug out my old one from when I had moved to Germany, and like it's just like this little yellow paper that says like I've been vaccinated with all these things that made me safe to like go over there. It's the same thing as like anything else, but there is a certain point where I feel we should draw the line, you know?
Yeah,
Like we jumped through the hoops and all that, but back to your thing though, like the disapproval thing. You don't get away from that like at all. I had my first fiance. His mom hated me, man. Like, I mean, so there was moments that we had that were okay, but like, it's usually when she was drunk. Like,
so
she
what
was
were
like,
her reasons? Like, were you not
she was
like
just
traditional
like,
enough?
oh,
Or,
She's a fucking narcissist. Like she was just a fucking twat, really. She had no reason to hate me because her son was a loser, honestly. And like me being with him was actually like kind of making things a little bit better. Like I semi motivated him to do things, but like, that quit when he was like just too much of a fucking loser. And his mom, when I moved back here, I overheard her like literally talking trash about me. And I like it took everything I had to like not fucking run down those stairs and fucking give her a piece of my mind. I still wanted to.
She should have been happy that there was somebody in his life who could light a fire under him.
Yeah, well, I mean, he didn't do fuck all. Like he couldn't even clean the house. He couldn't hold down a job. He couldn't even go to school, really. So like, you know, anyway, it's just like that was
Yeah,
one. That was one. And then currently, like this is sort of like a complicated. I wouldn't call it really a relationship, but a guy I'm seeing, his mom won't even meet me. Will not. And she blames me for all the tattoos he's got when he's gotten like a bunch of other tattoos before he's seen me. I've tattooed him a little bit since then, but like, she's one of those Christian people that's like, no, like she. And the funny thing is, I talked to her on the phone. We've like had laughs about Ryan, like had like a good laugh because like, she's raised him. And I like, I live with him, or I had lived with him. Oh my God, I said his name. I wasn't trying to do that, but anyway, moving
hopefully.
on.
I better I'm gonna
So
write down where
no,
that.
no, it's okay. It's okay. That's fine. He's like, this is probably the podcast he's gonna listen to anyway. But yeah, like him and his mom, or his mom and I, had a laugh about his things, his mannerisms. And like we had like that a couple times, but she still won't meet me. And my dad hates Ryan, like hates him. So like it's
That's
like something that you're never gonna get rid of. Like it's just like you literally can't please everyone. It's hard.
Have you made the mistake of getting a tattoo of a person you dated, their name or whatever?
No, I've never gotten a name. Okay, so before infinity symbols really hit the scene, I had a engagement ring that was two infinity symbols. And like this was the fiance that I was talking about earlier. His mom hated me and whatever. This is like there's a trend with moms. They don't like the women, like they just don't. Anyway, so I convinced them that like we're gonna do these, you know, matching rings and he should do mine, right? Like he's all for it. He's like, yeah, we're gonna like, we'll get engaged and whatever. And he goes to do mine and it was like the most pussyfoot shit in the world. He like barely touched me and he was like, no, no, I can't do it. I can't. I set the machine up so he can't fail. Like honestly, all he had to do was just like draw on me like a piece of paper. Like
Is it kind of like the Ouroboros symbol? Is that what it's like?
well,
Or
the infinity symbol is like the sideways number 8.
oh yeah, I figure it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the sideways. Yeah. So I had two of those. There's only like a couple dots on the inside, but I've since had that covered because that's really the only reminder that I had. I was gonna get his name on my ass, but I wasn't gonna do that in black. Like I'm smart. So you can color, like you can put mostly anything over color. You can't really do much with black. So
Yeah, yeah. An ex of mine had an idea, and I don't. Maybe it would be a bad idea, maybe not. But she was saying like, if she got married again, instead of
mhm.
wearing a wedding band, she'd have like a ring tattoo on
Yeah.
her finger. Because
And like it's not a bad idea. A lot of people usually go with initials and like at least with initials you can black that out, right?
yeah,
Or put like a decoration on top of it. Like I have a moth, a really colorful moth on top of mine. and I actually kind of really love it.
I don't like wearing jewelry, so maybe I'd be happier doing that. So
Yeah, I actually I like wearing jewelry, but I can't wear jewelry all the time. I have to take it off like because of work. So if I see that stuff on my hands, it's kind of nice. Like it's almost like wearing jewelry.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to do your first
All
confession?
right. I always go for the short ones just because like it kind of like it leaves a lot of room for discussion. So, this one is I'm gay.
Hmm.
I'm gay. I feel like I need to try telling someone, and that's it. And you know what? Um, you got to do what you got to do. Like, there's no pressure, really, especially this time, like this day and age. You don't
Yeah,
really have to like go and like, run to the mountaintops with a megaphone and be like, I'm gay. You don't have to. But I
no,
mean, if it makes you feel better, do it. Like,
I think there is that fear though, just in knowing
being
that
judged.
being judged, losing friends,
Mhm.
maybe not all of them, but I lost a couple of friends. There might be family members who might stop speaking to you, but that doesn't mean that you should be in the closet for the rest of your life.
No, no, you should be able to live your life, live it happy, live it free. And like, I mean, if you feel like you gotta tell somebody, but like, start out small. Like, you don't have
Yeah,
to like go, bear it to like everybody, just like, baby steps and shit. Baby steps go a long way. And you never know. They might actually be like pretty relieved just to tell that one person, you know?
well, I once hung out with this family, and one of them was gay, and he didn't announce it to them. The way it worked out was they would have these family get-togethers in the summer, and he brought his boyfriend, but he didn't tell them he was his
Oh
boyfriend.
yeah, it was just his like best friend
Yeah,
or whatever. Yeah.
they had thought at first he was a friend, but then like when they discussed sleeping arrangements, he slept in the same bed as that guy, and of course, how often do straight guys sleep in the same bed, right?
Yeah,
So,
usually that's not a thing. Like one will be in the bed or like they'll switch like depending on how many nights they're there. It's like you take the bed this night and I'll take the floor or the couch or something and then you will switch.
yeah,
Like
they're
if
forced
they're cool like that.
if they're forced to sleep in the same bed, maybe you do a thing where like you sleep horizontally on either end or something like that. But yeah, that's what they did, and everyone thought, oh, okay, well, that's now we know. So that's how they did it.
Yeah.
It was a soft landing, I guess. So maybe
Yeah.
that's a good way to do it. Just kind of like don't spring it on them. Just kind of casually insert it into conversation.
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, it's a lot to digest, but
Well, yeah,
yeah,
I mean like it can be for a lot of people just depending on like how old the parties that you're dealing with are because some like older school people are just like oh like it's a little much for them and it sucks
yeah.
but I mean
Do you come from a really conservative family?
no actually like my parents know that I'm bi. My dad actually like was saying that I should probably have a girlfriend.
Yeah,
He was like like I'm not saying like he was like really kind of like trying to tread carefully because I mean he's my dad too, right? Like things can be really misconstrued. But he was just like, I mean, I'm not writing off guys and I'm not saying you should do a certain thing, but you've expressed interest in women and have you ever thought of having a girlfriend? It's like
oh
I'm
yeah.
like, that was like the smoothest like conversation ever. Like
Well, that's
and
good.
he's a military guy, right? So I was like
Yeah,
kind of surprised, right? But I was like, you know, um, I mean, I like chicks a lot. I've never really had a girlfriend. Like I've had sort of like a loose girlfriend, but like never really like settled down and dated a girl. Like I dated all the guys that I've dated.
yeah.
So, but I mean, it's not like I'm writing that off. Like I'm just like really weird about hitting on chicks.
Well, my mother was a hairdresser for 20 years, and if you don't like gay men, that's the profession to stay away
Oh,
from.
I know. I love like and hairdressing is so great. Hairdressing and makeup and like all that. Like, yeah, that's where you find all the gays. It's great.
Have you found that the hairdressing has gone up in price
I have not gotten my hair done in a really long time. I usually do my own.
for yourself? Oh yeah, because
Yeah.
just for me to get a trim and I'm bald, it's now like 45 fucking dollars. I can't believe
Yeah, and it used to be like $25,
it's
like for
ridiculous.
you guys. It was like $100 really for chicks, like if you wanted to get some
That's
highlights or something, like
the beauty industry really gouges you, right? The makeup's
oh
expensive.
man, for fucking women, it's terrible.
Even
It's
like
terrible.
Avon makeup or something like that.
Well, like all the okay, first of all, like typically men don't wear makeup.
Yeah.
Like typically there's that. Unless you're a drag queen or you like to
Uh,
kind of spruce up like or yeah, you're goth or something like that. Like there's some people that do. But for the most part, like it's a woman market. You like there's moisturizers, there's fucking shaving creams, there's bath bombs, there's fucking, you know, all kinds of makeup, like, and they're all differently priced. Like the best kind of cover up I found is the Derma blend, and that's like it's close to 40, it can be up to $40. Like it's 35 for like a little thing, and then you get like this, like you buy the powder because the powder makes your face stay on.
yeah.
And like, yeah, and then there's pads, there's tampons, there's fucking like deodorant. There's the I don't know if you've heard of this, but the pink tax that they have on razors.
A
There
tax
used
for
a
razors.
pink tax for razors. Like the women's razors are sometimes more expensive.
So if you're gonna get all dolled up for some occasion, how long does it take you to get ready?
Well, okay, so it can take me up to an hour, like, well, 2 hours if I'm like taking my time and really like maybe I'm indecisive on what I'm gonna wear. Like I might change a couple times in the 2 hours. Um, but like sometimes I want to like really do some cool extravagant makeup, or maybe I want to stick a fucking contact in and make myself look kind of creepy sexy because fuck, like you don't get out much anymore. Like there's not much you can do other than get spruced up for dates or going fucking grocery shopping. Because like
You're an artist. You're really bringing artistic
oh
vision.
man. Yeah, and I like doing that. It's fun, I love playing with makeup. It's a lot of fun. And I mean, I wish I had more patience because I would do crazier things. But like if I have 2 hours at my disposal, I'm made the fuck up. Like I'm like gothed out and whatever. Like I've really put some serious work in. But usually it's 1 hour because I just don't have the patience.
You know who's really good with makeup is that singer Kesha. You
Oh
ever
yeah, I
there's
like her.
one photo I saw, she was wearing like baby blue lipstick and it
Oh
looked
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And
No,
there's
she's
one
cute.
she's beautiful and she's really good with makeup. I don't know if she does it herself or if she hires people, but she's really good at it. And I once
Yeah,
worked with this girl who wore white lipstick. I thought that was interesting.
yeah, yeah. The lipsticks have kind of changed a little bit. Like there's more diversity now,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's more acceptable to wear like a blue or like a weird color, like or gray even. Like I've seen some cool grays and like shit like that. But yeah, Kesha, do you know like her story? She like it took her a long time to break free into like the song industry. She
Yeah, I
was a
don't
songwriter for a long
she
time.
must have been close to 30 or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it took her a long time to actually break out. And she's talented.
Oh,
Like
yeah, yeah.
she's got a great voice. So I'm like, man, fucking people are stupid. Like
I guess it's like if Lady Gaga were
Oh
deeper.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
she had a hard time breaking free. Like people in high school made fun of her.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Well, it's always the
Yeah,
interesting people that get
yeah,
on in
right.
high school.
And I mean, good for her, cause like, I mean, I wish I could reach that sort of height of fame myself.
It's funny, I had a dream last night. I was hanging out with Courtney Love, and then today
Mm.
it's thinking, where the hell has she been?
She was on. I watched a episode, and this is I think season 10 of Drag Race. She was on that for a hot minute, and I was really surprised. I thought it was fucking great. Like, I'm like, Courtney, wait, that's Courtney Love. Like, because you just see her. They don't even, like, you see her for a second, then they introduce her, right? But, yeah, they always have, like, really great celebrities on there. And I was surprised to see Courtney Love fucking killing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, she's really intense, so maybe she got tired of fame, because people
Yeah.
reacting to her. Maybe she found that.
She
So,
just speaks her mind, and I mean
yeah,
honestly, like she's kind of like people think that she's some sort of drug hoe, and she'll probably never ever get past that stigma,
yeah.
unfortunately.
Well, I've been learning
But
the hard way what it's like when women have an opinion publicly and to see the reactions to it.
oh,
So
I know
for my
it's like
podcasts,
ridiculous.
and it's women who are like the most vicious in terms of giving all that negative feedback to.
Why? What's happening on your podcast?
Well, it's like on Rachel and Michelle
Oh,
and
are they hating on them?
oh, it's just yeah, it's they get most of the negative feedback and calling them airheads, and they're not. They're totally not
No,
airheads.
they're not. No. And like that's fucking shitty. I
Yeah,
hate it when women are fucking shitty to each other. Like, I mean, it's so fucking high school. Like, grow
yeah.
the fuck up. Like, you're
See,
not in fucking high school.
that's why you'll never smash patriarchy because so many women are trying to tear other women down. So
Oh man, yeah. And I mean, like, it's so funny. Like, cause with like our little like Papo thing, we're all like, we love each other. Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
we straight up like would probably give each other hand jobs if we could. Like, and if it wasn't like, weird.
yeah.
Cause we're I don't know, we're cool with each other. It's not like that. Like, I can't stand that. I really can't. There's like I have no fucking use for that. It's fake and well, not fake. It's just like what does that say about you?
Well,
If
you
you're
know
gonna
what?
be that fucking bitchy to somebody you don't know.
Well, maybe you should be thankful you never actually became a full-time model like for money because
Well,
models are like that. Models are really
they
vicious.
can be.
They
Oh
do
man.
some of them do a lot of coke and they're pissed off all the time and so because we have
Well,
fashion
that's the
week here in
stigma.
Toronto. Yeah, we have
That's the
fashion
stigma.
week.
I'm not saying you're wrong, but wait, I'm not saying you're right, but
Yeah,
you're not wrong. Yeah, that's it. Because I mean, there's a lot of levels of that, but like I've fortunately worked with a lot of models that were not that bad. Like they're awesome. Like one time I sort of got my feelings hurt. Like I was working with this really cool. Like I like her a lot. Like I thought she was super cute, and she like only would do like implied things. Like she would like do nudity, but she would like only do implied like sort of
side boob.
lesbian stuff, like
Oh
make it
yeah.
look like we were about to kiss, but we didn't ever. But she joked we're like taco buddies because we
Yeah.
basically like had like we're like hugging and our talk like our crotches were almost like scissoring in a way, but like
Oh,
it
oh,
wasn't like
was that the girl with the blue
sexual.
things in her hair?
Yeah,
Yeah, I saw
yeah,
that too.
Anna. Yeah, no, she's cool as fuck. I love her. She's like such a cutie, but she like that day it was funny. Like the photographer's like, "How about like a kiss?" And she's like, "No," and I was like, "Yes" at the same
Oh
time.
yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, whatever you're comfortable with."
Yeah.
Oh man, I was like, I'm gonna pretend like I'm not like a little bit hurt, but whatever. We're gonna get some cool pictures. Like,
Once during Fashion Week here, I was on the streetcar and these two models were talking about the work they were doing, and one of them, they were talking about like how they wanted to beat the shit out of some chick, and so
What?
some of them are pretty intense. Yeah.
Yeah, that is intense. That must have been fat.
Yeah, maybe like maybe she wasn't eating and she was
No,
miserable.
no, no, fat. I mean FAT, the fashion. Like there's a name for. I went to one fat down there, like FAT. It's like the fashion alternative something. I don't know. I can't remember what it stands for, but it's
Oh,
a fashion show.
it's like an alternative fashion show.
Yeah, it's sort
Yeah.
of like, up and coming type people and
Oh, okay.
whatever. Yeah.
All right. So my next confession, actually, speaking of women, and this a lot of people are not going to like this one very much. So the title of it is "I Love Being a Single Guy and You Should Too." The great thing about feminism is that it has liberated men from the horrors of marriage and legal entanglements with toxic women. Making money, spinning plates, a man cave, and a few good pets are all a guy really needs. Women have a
Well,
biological clock, and because of that, they need relationships, but men simply don't. The
oh.
biological clock is a woman's problem that men shouldn't feel obligated to take responsibility for. It's all about the money now, and marriages are disposable. That's how feminists have conditioned women to view relationships, so that's the rule that men should live by.
Oh, and this is coming from a dude, right?
Yep, feminism has returned humanity to its most primal sexual function found in most mammals. In the animal world, the males don't usually hang around to help the mother raise the offspring that he helped procreate. With the advent of birth control, why should men be held to a higher standard? We've all been liberated, so who needs fathers anymore? My advice: walk away from the burdens of commitment and marriage and learn to enjoy all the newfound freedoms that feminists have given us.
Okay. I gotta say like a couple of things. I find it hilarious that this is a dude talking about feminism. He clearly has no idea what the fuck it means. And also, I mean, he's not wrong. There's some cool things that he said. Like, honestly, I'm happy with me and my cat. Like, he's not wrong there. But to like hear a fucking man mansplain feminism in the most stupidest goddamn way I've ever heard in my life.
Well,
I'm
there doesn't,
sorry. Like that was
doesn't
just like uneducated. Like
at least there's not much anger in it, at least not that I can tell.
yeah, I mean at least he's not woman hating. He's just like go like
Misinterpreted it, I guess. Yeah.
yeah. Go have fun with whatever feminism the definition of feminism that it is that I just made up. Have fun with that. Cause yeah, that's what feminism is. And it's like, no, not quite. Like, first of all, you need to have a vagina to like fully understand what the fuck is even like happening. First of all, yes, we have a biological clock. Yes, we do. And some of us get baby crazy and we don't even like it's not supposed to we're like, no, I don't want a baby. Like, stop it. Like, stop, and you tell your ovaries to just shut the fuck up. But um yeah, it's just I love when a dude talks about feminism. There's just something special about that. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm not discounting like I'm not saying that all dudes don't know what feminism is. But this guy like just totally reeks of like what is it that the celibate like what there's a term. Uh the like involuntary celibate incel.
The incels, yeah.
Yes.
He might be one of those. I don't know. They tend to be
It's kind
much.
of like a little smelly like that, you know?
Well, yeah, the next episode of Human Monsters is going to be about Mark Lepine, the Polytech
Nice name.
shooter. Yeah, he was an incel before the
Lapine.
term was coined, and he blamed women for all his
Oh,
failures.
yeah.
Uh,
Every single goddamn woman, every fucking thing out there with a pussy, it totally fucked your life up, bro.
Well, he felt like they were taking all the jobs in engineering, but women were still minorities in that.
Yo, he just has to do a better job. That's his fucking deal. Like he's gonna get paid more regardless.
Well, I know that
Like
I know
fucking
married men
idiot.
tend to get paid more.
Well, I mean, typically, like, I don't know about now, but probably around that time, like, men were getting paid more for the same job
Well,
because that was the
supposedly,
thing for a while.
according to the statistics, if I were married with children and the employer knew that, I would get paid more. That's supposed to be the case.
Oh, yeah, but I guess, yeah. But what about the wife?
I don't know. I don't know how that works out for her. Maybe
Yeah,
she's got kids that you'd get more.
I mean,
Uh,
maybe, like, I mean, you could probably go through the government. I think that's one of the things is like you get like child taxes and shit.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, you don't get
Yeah.
it. There's no,
It's a different way. We have to jump through different hoops probably, and then like you guys just get like you get it pretty easy. But I mean
well,
like that's just like in summary, and I mean I don't know what the jobs are like now because I've just been working the steady one job and all the other places that I've worked like people were pretty much paid equally. So um but yeah, I mean like typically that was a thing. Is that and also males had more opportunity for job advancements. Um, they had, I mean, they could vote for the longest time. We couldn't vote for a while. Um, yeah, it's just like,
but it changed.
we like, oh yeah, it's great now, but I mean, there's still some fucking double standards that happen. Like, fuck, like, um, and this is like, I mean, mind you, it is 20 years ago when this had happened, but like I was tattooing, well, I was working at a tattoo shop. I was in between people and a guy walked in and he's like, "Where's the tattoo guy at?" I'm like, "Well, the tattoo guy is busy, but I do tattoos." You know?
Oh yeah.
Like people just still have that thing, and like sometimes they won't even fucking talk to you.
Would he not get a tattoo from you?
Yeah, he wouldn't.
Strange.
He
Well, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Some people are just like that. Like
yeah.
not
Well,
related to sexism, but I once
well, it
knew
is kind of like
I once knew a guy who was disabled. He was in a wheelchair and he worked at Home Depot. And this guy asked for help, and this guy Rob, he went to help him, and the guy looked at him and said, "What can you do for me?" Can you imagine how rude that would be?
Oh, yeah.
Because he was in
Yeah.
a chair that he couldn't point him to.
Oh, that's like
Think
that
to.
is rude. Like,
Yeah.
yo, like he can figure it out.
Totally,
Like,
yeah. He wasn't a stupid guy.
yeah, like that I that's so rude. Like I've always like I don't okay, it's not that I like look down or give special treatment to anybody that's got, like they're in a wheelchair, they're definitely able to whatever. I treat them like an equal, always. Like when I was like really, really little, my second time in grade one, we were like right next door to a special needs class, and we would pair up with them a lot. And this is like, that's a great age to introduce people to that sort of thing. Because I mean, kids, they're wide open. They don't give a fuck. They're like, "You're cool. Like, what's your name?" They don't have the hangups that we do now, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I was really thankful for that experience. But like ever since then, throughout my life, um, I've just like I wanted to help those people, not just because I feel like they can't help themselves. It's just like maybe they need a friend, they needed company, like I'm a friend, I've always felt like a friend to them. And like on the bus, like sometimes like some of these people will just randomly start talking to me and I'm like me the way like I look, I get a little bit surprised because I'm like you don't see really all of this. Like I mean mind you by that like around like the time that I'm talking about I didn't really have face tattoos, but um it doesn't really matter. like kids and people with disabilities or whatever, they don't give a fuck about that, you know? And
Or
I think
maybe,
that's awesome.
I guess maybe they view you as an underdog in your own right.
Well, yeah, they probably like get it to a degree. It's like, this person's probably been through enough, like, well, not enough, a lot. They can probably relate, to some degree. But like, I've always just like been, I don't know, I wanted to always be like that person that they, like, if they, were lost or anything like that, like, I'd help them. No, like, no questions asked. Cause like,
Cool.
yeah, I just honestly like I hate when people fucking treat people like shit. I do. And just like it hurts my soul.
Yeah, some people are just so goddamn thoughtless.
It's
They
like,
just say
yo,
some
yeah,
people
like
they have no filter in their brain to stop them from saying the least considerate thing. And it's just stupid.
yeah, or like they won't, I don't know, pay attention to shit around them and hold the door open for like 5 seconds.
Yeah, yeah.
Or like, talk to the guy who's just like he just wants to talk for a second, like I don't know. It's just it's crazy how stupid people are.
Well, I think you stand out in the crowd too. I think that's another thing too.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny. I was discussing with one of my friends like how and this is slightly off topic, but like kind of in the same realm. Somebody that uh I kind of looked up to, he passed away recently. He's a folk singer, Jesse Stewart. And I was just like, man, like I told my friend this and we were talking about it. He's like, he was kind of like, well, he called him a pedophile and it was because he probably hit on a lot of underage chicks. And it was like, he never fucking like, he never bothered me and I never picked up on that either. He was cool with me, right? Like it was whatever. And he's like, yeah, but you have sort of like a, like not to be fucked with, like look about me. I was like, oh yeah, that's true. Like, like I did do that. I did set out to kind of have like a little bit of a defense mechanism going on. So
Like you might have barbs in your vagina or something like that.
no, no, not like no.
No, I'm not saying you do. I'm saying maybe someone
There's
would
a thing
expect.
though. You can just like it's an anti-rape thing that's like
Yeah,
there.
yeah. A device, yeah, yeah.
Mm,
Some kind of. I think they invented it in Africa, and it's
yeah,
the woman can trap the rapist in it, and then yeah,
it's
summon.
painful for him.
Totally, yeah. They need that down there. They've
In
got.
summary, it's like in summary, it's painful for him, and that's like probably an understatement.
I think did we discuss there's something sometimes something happens where a guy gets stuck in a woman's vagina and he can't get out. I think
Yeah,
that
I
happened.
heard like it was like sort of like a jewelry deal that had happened
But
once.
I've also read it's actually something that's just natural. It's organic. It's just some. It has to do with maybe the muscles or something. Like maybe
Well, maybe he swells up.
it gets locked, and
Crazy.
I don't think it's something they ever want to happen. But
No, that's like a dog. Like that's like dogs. Like how they. Anyway, I'm not saying how I know that, but like sometimes dogs don't come apart.
yeah, I've heard about that. Yeah. So, so what's your next confession?
Okay, so I don't know what this word is, but it's N sauty N sauty. I think it's supposed to be naughty, and they fucked it up. Anyway, I locked my boyfriend out of the bedroom naked in front of my girlfriends, and his dick got hard. I
Hmm.
like these ones. I seem to pick these ones a lot.
Short
It's
but
sort of
low.
like, well, no, no, not just the short ones, but the ones where like they get exposed in front of people and they either laugh or they get hard or like it's sort of like I don't know, like I guess they like embarrass them, but like sometimes the dude likes it, sometimes like they don't.
Well,
It's
that's potentially problematic because if the girls don't like it, then he could end up being charged for indecent exposure and
true.
your fault.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, it's not like the guy like fucking did it. It's like somebody else did it, right? So like, but I mean, if yeah, in this scenario, at least they're in the house.
Well, I suppose the girls probably knew her well enough to know that she wouldn't do that, that she might do that.
Ah, true. Or she probably, yeah, maybe like she already knew, like, they all knew that like that was gonna happen. Like, oh, this is a come on over so you can enjoy the show. Like,
Yeah.
pop some popcorn, ladies.
Yeah, you got to be really careful about unsolicited male nudity when it
I
comes to
know.
female onlookers.
I actually got a little story on that. And I don't give a fuck. Like, I had these clients lately or recently, and what really bothered me was that they were super like fake nice to me, and then they complained later. But I asked them, I was like, at what point in the whole like time that you were there did you feel uncomfortable? Because they said that like they were like, we had a terrible experience and blah blah blah, like all this stuff, blah blah, blah, right? And they said it was when my complicated partner showed them the tattoo that he did on himself, which was on his thigh. And like he thought they were cool. Like he was talking to them, they were like, laughing, all this stuff. They were fucking acting like everything was cool. And then they turned around and said that that was the thing. And I was like, like this happened before they even fucking got like they got the tattoo. I was prepping for them. This happened before all that. They don't have a deposit. Why the fuck didn't you walk out? But like, anyway, like it's a fucking tattoo on his thigh, and like he's showing him that, and he's not exposed. They just thought, oh, it was a little much. Like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, go back to your fucking little tiny town where you're from, because like obviously you've not been in like very many tattoo shops. People are half naked here all the time. It's like being like in a porn shoot almost. That kind of comfortability.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
Krista sent
like the,
Krista sent me
yeah.
a photo of some chick, and she had her pants down, and all of the
Mm,
equipment was showing, and the tattoo was being done like right above her asshole. So
yeah.
I guess if you're gonna do that, you're not gonna be too insecure about other people seeing you're naked there.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, like, that wasn't happening, but I mean, it was just like, girl, you're acting like you've never seen like fucking like a thigh before. Like, and that's bullshit. Like, too much showing. Like, he was showing her the tattoo that he did. I gave him the machine and he did a tattoo on himself, which I fixed. But he was showing him that, and like he wouldn't have done it if he didn't feel like it was okay. And they made him feel that way. So that's another thing to think about, you know? Like he can't just like be there and fucking act a certain way and then turn around and say it's like basically like what it sounds like is like it was non-consensual. It's like, yo, you were fucking playing every little bit up. You were there. I was there. You didn't say like, okay, no, put that away. You didn't fucking stand up for yourself if it
Little,
wasn't
little
okay.
bitch. He's
You
a whiny
know?
little bitch. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's funny. I'm supposed to like give her a discount, or not a discount, a refund, which is uncalled for. We don't, honestly, in all the places that I've worked at, we never give a fucking refund to anybody. You did the work, it's permanent. You're taking that to the grave. Like, no, no refunds. Sorry. So I did this, like I said to her that it could be possible, and that's what she was looking for. She wanted that. So I'm pretty sure she heard from somewhere, like word of mouth travels fast. So she heard from somewhere that this was gonna be a fucking thing. And she like said she had such a terrible experience when the whole time she was acting like it wasn't that bad. And she faked sympathy for me. Are you okay? Bitch, please. Like that's like I have not seen that at all in my 20 years until like this year. Like this year, people are getting weird.
I'm wondering if the reason why sometimes tattoos are misspelled is because the tattoo artist knew it was spelled wrong, but the customer was such a dick that they just thought, well, fuck it.
I
That's what they
bet you
helped me
like
do. So
there's a little bit of that. Sometimes it's that. I mean, honestly, I've checked with people on spelling so much. I've been like, look at this, write it. And like, I even asked them, I'm like, this letter looks like these letters. And I was like, is this letter? And like, yeah, that's that letter. And like, I went through like so many like unnecessary fucking hoops just to make sure that like things were fucking mint. And they just like, that's wrong. I'm like, I went through it. Like, no, 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 no. I asked you like 10 times the questions I would ask most people, and you still didn't fucking pick up on it, you idiot. Like, it's permanent. I know this. And like they just it's like almost like they get caught up in the whole like, I don't know what it is, but they just I would double check that thing. It's spelling, like I fucked up one of like my tattoos. Actually, it was supposed to. Are you familiar with Metalocalypse?
I've heard the name.
It's a cartoon. You must watch it. You'll love it. It's gory. It's awesome. And anyway, there's a character named Murderface, and he's got this tattoo on his belly, and it says "Po Buddy's Nerfect," but I fucked it up, and it says nobody's perfect. Like it's supposed to be misspelled, and I spelled it right. So it's like nobody's perfect. This mess is a place, which is still like all right, but I want to like revise it so it's correct. I'm like
Well,
it's on me permanently. Like it's anyway.
if I got a tattoo that said I have Dane Bramage, that would be the
Yeah, that would be so good. And like, are you having a strong?
yeah,
I
yeah,
smelt burnt toast.
yeah, something like that. Oh yeah, that commercial from way back.
Yeah,
Smell burnt
man,
toast. Yeah.
our commercials back then were so good. Our heritage commercials, oh
Yeah, we had
my
some good ones.
God. But we need those peach baskets back.
Yeah, the invention of basketball. Yeah.
And Patrick O'Neill.
Yeah.
Fucking
All
A.
right. So my next
Yeah, you go.
confession has the title "I like too many teachers." So
Ooh,
I like way
tough
too many teachers
teacher.
in my school. I am a boy. Some of our school teachers are just so hot. We have young women and then some older ones. They are just so fine. They kind of distract me. I have too many thoughts about them. Help. Well, if I my suggestion, if you want to consummate this sort of thing, move to Florida because through doing the true crime news, I've come across so many stories of female teachers having these flings with their male students who are always underage, like in some cases 14 years old, 13 years old. So, I mean, I don't know where this person lives, but it seems like, yeah, go to Florida because that seems to be where that activity is concentrated.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
totally.
I mean, certainly understand, but then I don't know when you're a male in high school, you're just you wake up hard every day and you've got like
Yes. You have
constant action. So
uncontrollable boners is what happens. Like it just like the wind hits and I've heard like I hung out with lots of guys in my time and also my uh partner, whatever. Anyway, like I called him a few different things. Anyway, he gets boners all the time. Like he has no problem with that. And it is like he's a teenager. It's like, oh,
how old is
like, what's that?
how old is he?
He's my age. He's 39. Like
Wow.
he's actually like he would be like the envy of most guys. Like he can come and still be hard and like keep going.
We'll wait a couple
Like
years. That'll change.
Yeah, it could, like he just might wake up one day and it's gone.
And no guy thinks that's going to happen, but
No, but all good things come to an end, my
yeah.
friend.
I mean, there are lecherous older men, but yeah, it's just the same the desperation of it kind of goes away. So
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, like, I will attest to this. Like, when I was in junior high, everybody had the hots for Miss Young because she wore like skirts that like you could see up, and she would sit on your desk and stuff, right? Like, but she wasn't young. Like, she was like a cougar, I'd say. Like when we were there. And the guys just loved her. They was like, oh, like they would talk about like, she sat on my desk and like, did you see her fucking blouse? You could see right through it. Like it's like fucking it was great. I loved it.
oh, that was when in the days when a lot of women used to wear like sheer white
Well,
blouses and
yeah, it was like
oh,
the white blouse and the black fucking skirt, but like the skirts
yeah.
had a slit, like, you know? Anyway, yeah, no, it was good times. And like I had my fair share of like hot guy teachers in high school, but like it wasn't until high school. There was no hot guy teachers in junior high. It was only female teachers that were there, that were decent.
Yeah, I guess it's a lot of, yeah, the male teachers tend to be losers in
No,
elementary.
man.
The
It's
lame.
like, I was just thinking about Mr. P, Mr. Patowski. I think that's his name. Anyway, Mr. P, and he had like those glasses, like those fucking like rapist glasses, and like, I was like,
Like bubbles.
no one had a bone. Like he was cool as fuck, but no one wanted to do him. I'm sure, like no one had a crush on Mr. P. It was all Miss Young. Probably the girls too.
Mm.
Fuck.
Okay, what's
Yeah,
your
no, teachers are great.
yeah,
Okay, so mine is Jehovah's Witnesses and the
I think I saw
ability of our planets as people. Jehovah Witnesses are as good as anybody, and I'm never mean to them when they come to my door. On a hot summer's day, they get cokes and iced tea from me. I read their pamphlets, which are sometimes interesting. Oh, hang on. Ah, fuck. There we go. Okay, so here's one of my many problems with their faith. They eschew science. I was talking to two JW ladies about the planets in our solar system and how Venus and Mars used to be habitable. These ladies asked how many people used to live on those now destroyed planets. Well, none. The JWs are a growing religion, but I wonder exactly what type of person joins them. They definitely aren't rocket scientists.
it.
Not that I am either, but I do know enough to know that Mars and Venus never hosted a population of humans. I'll discuss the weather with JWs, but I won't be joining them. If God exists, and maybe he does, and maybe he doesn't, the JWs are going to be sat down and educated. What do these naive people do for a living? Construction work, waste disposal, street sweepers? Are they? I mean, they sure as hell don't work for scientists.
Well, I mean, my beef with them is that basically I blame them for Prince's death, his untimely demise,
Yes,
because the thing is he
he
for
was so
years,
good before that.
yeah, like for years, he was dancing, he was doing the splits,
He
playing
was so
basketball.
fucking sexual.
He was a very dynamic person, but
And
if
then
you
he
do
put all
that
that
stuff,
away.
if you do that stuff for a long time, it's going to take a toll on your joints. And
Mm,
he needed a hip replacement, but they
I
don't.
know, and they killed him,
Yeah, the thing is,
basically.
if you're going to undergo that surgery, you have to get blood transfusions because it's a long procedure, and
Yes.
he wouldn't do it because they're against that. And so instead he took tons of painkillers, and look where that got him. And it was
That's
he
where Michael
converted.
Jackson went too. Well, not exactly that, but
Well, he was a Jehovah's
painkillers.
Witness.
Michael Jackson?
Yeah, his family were Jehovah's Witnesses. Yeah.
Oh, fuck, man. That's it right there.
Stay the fuck
Dude.
away from these people.
Yeah, fuck those guys. Jehovah's
It's
Witnesses
bizarre.
are stupid, man.
It's bizarre
Fucking,
because they're trying to convert the entire world, but they only
yeah,
believe
fuck
that
that.
they believe that only 1,400 people are actually going to heaven. It's a really strange belief. I guess
Yeah,
they do things like if you make a mistake, if you violate one of the rules, they shun you. So like the
that's
friends you make
fucking
there won't speak
stupid.
to you, and yeah, it's
Yeah, no, Jehovah Witnesses are actually like pretty fucked up. Like, I mean, I keep fucking going back to him, but the complicated person that I keep talking about, um, like when he was in Edmonton, he said he would he'd be on uh he worked the oil field, so he'd be like week on, week off, right? And his week off, he'd just be like hanging out at the house, like fucking. And most times he would catch the Jehovah Witnesses and like get them to come inside and fucking like just have a fucking day because he was bored, right? Like,
yeah.
and he'd fucking just talk to them. And like he kind of respected these people because like the same people came by every time. And like he would send them away with something to think about, and then they'd come back with like an answer, and then they'd just like kind of be back and forth. But honestly, when it comes down to this shit, like there's stupid people and there's smart people in all things. Like I would be willing to bet that not all Jehovah Witnesses are stupid, but they do some fucking stupid things.
Well,
To
yeah.
like not fucking believe in shit that's gonna save your life. Fuck you. You're an idiot.
Well, I
That's
mean,
stupid.
well, I would at least say to them like, after all the people have been praying to God for medical miracles to help heal people, why wouldn't he come up with something like a drug, like a hip replacement? All you just have to get. And as far as the blood transfusion goes, you can have your own blood taken.
Yeah.
You
Like
just,
you have your own fucking blood on surplus if you donated.
I mean, which is obviously
Like,
better because you never know if they
yeah,
can.
you just cycle out your fucking own blood. Like that's super smart.
Yeah.
Like we gotta figure it out.
Well, I mean,
Like
Jehovah's Witnesses is kind of on the same level of stupidity as Scientology. They just have different beliefs. But yeah, it's basically on the same
I
level.
hate Scientology. They're fucking money grabbers, those guys. Like no,
Yeah.
no, like that.
Christian
Like
Science,
I think I hate them more than a lot of things. But like, yeah,
Christian Science is another one of these anti-medicine religions. Like,
yeah, fuck
there's
that.
that Metallica song, "The God That Failed."
No.
It's on the Black album. It's one of
Oh,
the.
okay.
But yeah, James Hetfield wrote it because his mother was a Christian Scientist and she had these health problems and I think
Yeah.
it was cancer and she refused to get medical treatment so she just died and he's been angry about it all his life, right?
Yeah. I would be too.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause that's just foolish. Like, that's fucking stupid. Like, I don't honestly, like, I could never, never let religion control my life to that degree. That's just like dumb. Some asshole wrote that book and you're gonna let that run your life?
Yeah.
Like, that's
Hospitals have to
like,
ask, yeah, like a hospital has to ask someone, like, do you want to do chemo? Do you want to do this or that? Because
it's
people have these
fucked, man.
religions and they could say no, and you can't. I mean, there might be an exception for children. I hope there is,
Yeah.
where they can go ahead and do it anyway. But I don't know about the legalities of that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
if
fucked,
I were a
man.
doctor, I think if I were a doctor, I'd go ahead and do it because it would be the right
Yeah.
thing to do. But
Yeah. I mean, I would just like fucking
yeah,
non-consensually do it.
wanted
You
to
have the
spray yourself.
power, really. You could just fucking drug the
Yeah,
fuck out of them and like just do it anyway and be like, you're fixed. Fuck off.
it's like, yeah, you want to destroy yourself with your own stupidity, fine, but don't put someone else through it.
Yeah, right? Like you got fucking dependents or whatever. Like, come on. Like, man, like I just don't understand how people could just be like, yo, this book right here decides my everything that I do in life. Like, fuck you. No.
Oh yeah.
No. Like
Lord
some
Joy
fucking
Everett.
Joe Schmo wrote that. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
and we're retarded. Humans are stupid and retarded. Like, you gonna fucking really put all like 100% goddamn fucking your life into this
Well,
thing that somebody wrote? Like,
that was a huge setback because we were aspiring to be more than that, to not feel like we're just base cretins who are
yeah,
we're just pieces of shit from birth. That's what religion tells us, right? That you have to be
yeah.
saved and all that. So Nietzsche, the philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche,
Oh
he
yeah.
this concept of the Superman, the Zarathustra.
Oh
Like,
yes, thus spoke Zarathustra. I
yeah,
downloaded that. Like,
become stronger and smarter and more talented. That he felt like that should be the goal, not to be told by religion that you're inferior and
no,
a lesser
like
being. Yeah.
I seen this weird, like, I don't know if it was a TED talk or a Gaia thing or whatever, but this chick was like, she sounded like a fucking total fruitcake for a bit, and then she's like, like the Bible says that, like God is in all of us. Like God is in all of us. Like that's what we should be kind of going by rather than like, there's a God in the sky and blah blah blah. No, it's like you are God. You like, well,
Yes, that's how I
really
feel.
what it comes down to is like you are your own God.
We're
Like
creators.
more,
We're creators. We influence events. We can do all
yeah.
things.
Yeah, we have a lot of power and we just don't realize it or use it or whatever. But I mean, like that really resonated. Like I'm kind of sort of religious, definitely more spiritual because I can't say what the fuck is out there, but I believe the universe kind of is like its own entity, right? Like there's no God per se. There's no guy in the sky. There's no sky daddy. Like that's not a thing. But like we are very, very powerful beings, like with our energy, with all of that. Like we can actually like really control a lot. Um, I mean, fuck, look at Hitler.
Yeah.
Like some people like can really go a long ways with that. So I mean, that all being said, like that's sort of the extreme bad, but like imagine what we do with extreme good. Nobody's fucking doing that really. Everybody just wants to go fucking have their own little plot of land and have like fucking a hobby farm and live by themselves, and I don't blame them, man.
Well, I mean,
Like,
I've seen heaven and I've seen hell on earth, and
mm.
there are angels and demons around us. So
Oh, totally. And I feel like, honestly, hell is essentially like right now. Like it's not necessarily
and
right now, but like living this reality and living like in the fucking world that we fucking screwed up.
yeah, we don't
As
contribute anything to the environment. Yeah.
like as bleak as that fucking sounds, I kind of feel like we're already living hell. And when we fucking die, that's like our release from the mortal coil, and it's gonna be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't have to fucking pay bills anymore.
Yeah.
No more rent.
So I'm gonna go on
Fuck.
to my next confession here.
Yeah.
I like this one. This is really funny, and this actually reminds me of a lot of the singles ads I've read, like on Facebook dating.
Oh, I love that.
This is something more reminiscent of what the female ads tend to be like than the male. But so the title is, "Oh wow, you traveled! What a superstar you are!" It's funny when people travel and feel the need to brag about it, write blogs on every moment, and keep their travel guides around for show. No one really cares. We are happy you are having a good time, but don't want to hear all the boring details. Yeah, it's a funny
I
thing.
feel like he's bitter.
It's like 90% of female dating profiles are all about how they love to travel, and yeah, people do like to show it off. And I don't know, travel's not all it's cracked up to be. It can be hassle. It can be exhausting.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Well,
mm, No, you go for
Yeah, no, I was
it.
just gonna say it can be stressful. Sometimes encountering other cultures means that behaviors that you would consider offensive are completely normal there. So there's that
Yeah.
too.
There's like a little bit of adjustment that happens, and like depending on where you go, if there's a second language, you do have to learn it. Although a lot of countries are very forgiving about being English. Like Europe is actually pretty awesome in the terms in the way that a lot of people already like they know English, like for the most part. Um, it's like they have their first language and everybody learns English. Like it's kind of a like it's pretty cool that way.
Well,
And when you go,
there's so
sorry.
much tourism from this part of the world that I guess they see it as a money-making opportunity as well. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, everywhere you go, there's like going to be tourist stuff, and like there's certain places that you shouldn't travel, or you should be very aware of where you have your money because there's pickpockets and shit like that, right?
Yeah.
Like, but this guy, this guy sounds a little bit bitter, and he should probably go travel because he will not, you can't fucking see the shit that like you can't see Europe from here, you know? And there's some shit there that you like honestly will blow your mind. Like fucking old ass cathedrals that when you walk through that, it's like, yo, like fucking millions of fucking people been through here. Like that's just the fucking sheer history blows my mind, Like I'm touching a wall that like fucking like people way back fucking touched. Like that blows my fucking brain. Like I love it. And I mean, the ocean that you see out here is not the same as the ocean that you see out there. It
Yeah.
is so blue. It is so blue.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, see, and I'm gonna be that person. I traveled, but my dad was in the Air Force, so it was basically I lucked out, right? We moved to Germany and we just traveled everywhere, right?
Yeah, what was that like? What was Germany
Oh, it
like?
was amazing. I would so go back there. Like it's such a fun fucking place. Like people just really don't like they're courteous, but they don't give a fuck there. You can drive any fucking speed on the Autobahn. It's amazing. People are courteous as fuck. Like all you gotta do is beep your horn, flash the lights, and like these people will just be like, "Oh, you need to get by. I'll just like pull over." It's all good. Like it's the best driving ever, and you get to drive fucking fast. You know, that's just one thing.
Supposedly there aren't many accidents either.
Yeah, because people know how to fucking drive over there. It's stupid, like how fucking cool it is. Like,
Yeah.
this guy's just like, oh wow, like, no, man. Like, you fucking save up, get yourself a plane ticket, and go to like southern France. Because southern France is actually not too bad. Like, you can get over to fucking like Spain if you want. You can get down to like Monaco, which is a pretty fucking doodly place to go because it's like that's where you have your Formula One shit. So like, and it's also a hub. I mean, it's a little bit expensive because it's Monaco. But from Monaco, you can go all fucking anywhere. You can catch a boat places. You can catch uh, a fucking train. Like once you're there, getting around there is so easy and it's so worth it. Like, you can't touch a fucking castle out here.
No.
Like, in Germany, I went to Castle Frankenstein. Like, yeah, it was actually called Castle Frankenstein. And, like, it was pretty cool. Like, I mean, it was, like, not fully all together. Like, there's part of it in ruins, but it was still like, man, like, do you even know how many fucking people fucking been through this bitch? Like, in the past? It's ridiculous. Like, and that, like, in itself, we don't have that fucking shit here. We've got old Quebec, and that's the only thing that kind of like is close to being what Europe is like.
Yeah. Well, I love Quebec City. That's a really
I
beautiful.
love it too.
I
I
want to
love
go
it.
there. I want to go there at Christmas someday.
Oh man, it'd be so cool. You know what? I'm planning on doing a fucking road trip. Like, I'm gonna wait until I have my fucking full license, like for about 6 months. I have to. I have to like at least be cool and cautious about this, but I'm gonna take like I don't know, a couple weeks off and fucking go. Like I wanted to go to Montreal to visit my friend. So, wait, do I hit Quebec and is
Well, Quebec
Ontario's
City,
after, right? Or is it,
Quebec
do I
City
pass through Ontario first?
isn't it north of Montreal? Or I don't
Well,
know.
I don't like that details details like whatever, but I was thinking if I go through like I don't know where the provinces are at. Hang on, I have to look on my phone, but I think I go through Quebec first if I come from where I'm at.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna say like I could come get you, and we'll go to fucking old Quebec with my friend. She's
that'd be
pretty
awesome.
cool.
Go,
Yeah,
go to the
like
ice
I'm
hotel.
so living to drive right now. Like,
Go to the ice hotel. That'd be cool.
yeah, I've always wanted to do that actually. The ice hotel would be dope.
Yeah, whole city's cool.
Yeah, right. Old Quebec, like, back when I was like, I think it was grade 7 or 8, something like that. We went there for a class trip, and it was really cool. Like, we stayed at Chateau Frontenac, which was like one of the nicest places you could be at. And we like, we totally were, teenagers in that place. Like,
Oh,
if
that's the big hotel, right?
yeah,
That overlooks the river. Yeah.
yeah, it was good. Like,
Yeah, I'd love to go there. Yeah.
it's so pretty. I bet you it's probably so expensive now.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
when I
for
went
sure.
there, it was like the 90s, right? Like,
Well, probably it's probably like staying at the Fairmont Royal York here in Toronto. It's that's where politicians and people like that
oh,
stay. So
the suits.
yeah. All right. So what's your next confession?
Okay, hang on. Chinese women.
Oh boy.
Seriously. Yeah, I know. I usually pick like once every now and then I'll pick a racist one. I'm not at all racist. I love all cultures. I like highly respect all of that shit, but these are just kind of funny to read for me. So, Chinese women. I seriously don't understand till this day what the fuck is going on within the minds of virtually all Chinese women in particular. Less so for the men, though. They're afraid of the sun to avoid becoming black. What? Anyway, they are afraid of the rain, which may in turn ruin their precious makeup faces. They like snow because to them, snow white, white clean. Oh my God. And when they are in white state, they feel more composed for themselves. Okay, whatever. Um, they are disgusted and afraid of black people. I'm not black, by the way, for venting. By the way, for venting this out, they are somehow afraid of or disgusted of hairy men. What the
Oh,
fuck?
I didn't know about that.
No, I'm learning so much from this.
Well, they're not very hairy people, so maybe it's the culture
No,
shock of
they
it.
they can't really grow beards, a lot of them. Anyway, unlike, and that's not, anyway, I wasn't trying to be racist. Unlike most women around the globe, they don't really care about strong, smart, good-looking, complex men, but prefer way much softer ones where I think they feel they could take advantage of at any time. I am just a curious person and I want answers because I've been around and everywhere and I see around the world where there's Chinese communities, their women are all acting the same way, even in foreign countries not of their mainland origin. Do they think they're like some kind of clean divine creatures brought down from the heavens, walking on earth or something that everybody else to the okay, okay, hang on. Divine creatures brought down from the heavens, walking on earth, or something that everybody else to their displease is disgusting, dirty, etc. I don't get it. Um, he kind of lost me on the last sentence, but that's okay. Um, I learned a lot from that because
Well, that's
like
a loose cannon shooting in the dark there.
yeah, he was just like that was a constant stream of thought right there. It was just like blah 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 blah. Like
I have heard of the thing about dark colors before. Like most Asian women wouldn't date a black guy, but they would
that's
date a
fucked
white
up.
guy. They would date white guys, but not black guys. But I think, and I know one thing I know for sure, and this is something that Asian people would definitely confirm. They tend to be very materialistic.
Yeah.
Like this one Chinese girl was quoted as saying, "I would rather cry in a BMW than smile on the back of my boyfriend's bicycle." And I
Oh,
was watching a
yo,
documentary where they said, like, if you're a young Chinese man in China, you won't get a girlfriend unless you own property, like at least a condo or something. It's just the pressure to have money and material shit
yeah.
is
Well,
there.
it's a status thing.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I understand that there's certain cultures that do hold status as a high regard. You know, like the more things you got, the bigger the house you got, this and that. Like, I guess like white people for the most part, there's like the keeping up with the Joneses thing. That's totally
well, that movie,
uh
Crazy Rich Asians, that will really tell you where they're at in terms of what they would consider to be ideal with the lives they want. That's what that movie totally represents for Asian society now. It's not. It's no
interesting.
longer, they're no longer just about philosophy, martial arts and
Yeah, no, like it just totally like it changed and what like that's kind of what I miss about a lot of cultures now is that like I don't know, like they just became too westernized in a
yeah.
way.
Well, I think there does seem to be a feeling among them that lighter skin is more attractive.
Yeah, they
Or
bleach their skin and stuff and they like they go for the Snow White thing
oh
where
yeah,
it's like, you know, red lips, like fucking dark hair, white skin, and then they do the eye surgeries too. Like that's a big thing is they want their eyes wide.
well, look at their animation. The characters have these
Yeah, the animes, yeah.
I'm white and I don't have eyes that round. I mean,
Dude, me neither. Like
I have
I'm
almond
like
eyes, so
so not. Yeah, like mine, I don't know. It depends on what kind of makeup I wear. I usually wear a lot of like darker shit anyway. So like I mean, I used to think I had really small eyes, but like as I got older, I'm like, man, my eyes are fine. Like
well, I've had
they're
photographers.
okay.
I've had photographers tell me to like really open my eyes.
Oh, yeah, and you know what? It sometimes it's certain things that actually helps. Like it changes the shape, and if like depending on what you're doing with your face, it like actually can contour you a little bit. Like that makes sense. But oh, and then like there's honestly like with them, they have hooded eyes, right? Like typically, so like um. Doing makeup on hooded eyes is different than doing it on regular eyes. It is. It's a whole nother fucking ball game.
You use eyeliner to make
Well,
the
you have to do
eyeballs
it
stick a bit.
minimal, like so minimal, because like once you open your eye, you're gonna have like, a piece of skin that goes over half of it. So what
Yeah.
you don't want is that eyeliner to transfer over to that. So I mean, it makes sense. Like, fuck, if I had a little, well, I guess I kind of do have a bit of a hood on my eye, but if I had that, I would probably want to, like, rectify it because I don't know, like, I want to be able to wear winged eyeliner.
Yeah.
You know? It's just so funny though, like the difference between cultures and like the pressure they put on certain things.
Well, I mean, pop culture as that has dominated the world has mostly come from the United States, and it was
Oh
mostly
yeah.
dominated with images of white people, and there's no doubt that it's influenced other cultures. So,
You know Futurama, right?
yeah.
Okay, so like that girl's parents, like how they own that farm, the Western farm, like the fucking it was the cow beetles.
Is that the Cyclops girl?
Yeah, no, it's not the Cyclops. It's Amy. It's like the one in the pink tracksuit with the. She's like, she's the other girl.
Oh,
Anyway, um, that was like almost like to a T what like had happened. Like, a lot of Asian people really embraced the Western culture, and what they like gravitated to the most was country for some, country music because it was super
really?
Western.
Hmm.
You know, it
Oh,
was like
yeah,
the most Western of Western ththings, you
doesn't get
know?
faster than country music. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, right? And yeah, they showed examples in that, like with I think the character's name was Amy. I'm not sure. But she's like an Asian character, wears a pink jumpsuit, and they've went to like their her parents. Oh, she was with Kip. Like she was supposed to marry Kip, that fucking green alien guy. That's with Zap Brannigan. Anyway, yeah, so they had a farm, and they're like they had bolo ties on and like everything. It was great. Definitely a semi-accurate representation of the uh the obsession that happened with the Western culture.
Oh, without doubt. Okay, so my last confession is it's pretty judgmental. This one, the title,
Ooh, I like
the title,
judgy.
the title is "Drug Addicts." I hate those sons of bitches. During the course of my life, I have been screamed at, assaulted, and harassed once by a worthless uh, bastard, I guess, on PCP, and later by a guy on crack cocaine. I hate them both. I wish society would wake up and instead of feeling sorry for these scum, incarcerated them. Better still, line them up and exterminate them.
Oh,
Shooting these same people is cheaper than so-called rehabilitating them.
that is like no. I mean, honestly, uh, he's kind of right, I guess. Like if you're gonna use one of those cattle guns like No Country for Old Men,
Yeah.
like you could
Well, I mean,
totally save some money killing people. But
one thing I've noticed about a lot of drug addicts, it's like it just seems like they tend to be really interesting people, but unfortunately they're wasting their lives with getting involved in drugs. But I find they tend to be fascinating people aside from that.
yeah, I mean, okay, so I've met all sorts in my lifetime, and I feel like the worst ones are the meth heads and the heroin people. I've met some crackheads, but like I would say like honestly like I've never had more issues than with the meth head. Like I didn't realize that this guy was like, and I was dating him. This is a while back. I didn't realize how bad he was. He was doing it like behind my back, and he actually like he stole my fucking like he stole my wallet with money in it. Went and got him some fucking drugs when I broke up with him. Got himself some fucking. He was high as a fucking kite. Like when I like had like I don't know. I don't know if I went to sleep really because like he I don't know. I couldn't trust that guy. But anyways, he helped me find my wallet, and that there's a joke about that.
So
A meth
Tracy
head.
Morgan is right. Tracy Morgan said a crackhead will do that. They'll steal some from you and then
No, a meth head. No, a meth head will steal your bike and help you find it.
yeah.
That's what it is. They'll steal your bike and help you find it later.
Well, I was on the
For
subway a couple weeks ago, and these two people were
real.
just shooting up in front of everyone. And actually,
Hmm.
it doesn't happen all the time on the Toronto subway. In New York, that might happen a lot, but in Toronto subway, it wouldn't happen all the time. But that was just astounding. They just did it. They just, I guess, but when you're a drug addict, you don't give a shit.
Dave Chappelle was talking about how he like it was in San Francisco. He's like San Francisco was the only place where I've seen people casually doing crack.
Yeah, yeah, just doing it out.
Just like, like all right.
Well, I think
Uh,
one solution would be so instead of sending drug addicts to jail where you can get drugs even easier than on the street, set up like a rehab that is like a prison. So it's like maximum security. You can't get out and you have to stay there for like a year or something. And you don't
yeah.
get out until you're clean. I think that's a better solution.
Yeah, I
This
mean,
is
if you
you.
like have a problem, like if you're a junkie, because like there's some people that's like they literally can help themselves. They can. Like
Yeah,
they have a lot of tools, they have their wits about them. Honestly, it's just a matter of like being in the right circumstances and having other things to kind of replace the junkiness with, like learn to fucking take up knitting or like whatever, a hobby. Take up a hobby, um, do something else with your time than, do the drugs. Like just
yeah,
don't do the drugs, do something else. Like that's you just got to replace it with something. And like I mean, people really don't give shit. Like they don't shit on people for being alcoholics, like that much. They don't as much as like a crackhead or a meth head or whatever, you know. And to
yeah.
me, in a way, I feel like that's kind of unfair. But I guess like all in all, it really just depends on how much you have your shit together. Because like, I mean, really, in the whole spectrum of junkies, you have people who stay at the Sally Ann, they get their paychecks, and then they fucking just go fucking spend it, and they like fucking, wait to the next fucking paycheck, and then they fucking spend that. Like they really have nowhere that they're going. They're not moving forward. They're just staying in one spot. And then there's people who are like they're fully functional and they just do it once in a while. And or like they work their 9 to 5 job and then they have like a little bit of whatever at the end of the night. Like it's so weird because everybody fucking views a junkie a different way. And everybody thinks a crackhead is like basically Jerome Bigums. Like the fucking white lips and the I think I smelled a hint of cinnamon. Like like they all think it's like that, but it's not. Like fucking your bus driver could be a crackhead for all you know. Like that
Cocaine,
guy, what's that?
cocaine use is much more widespread than most people
Yeah,
realize.
it's more acceptable. And
Yeah,
it's fucked up because like that's where all the fentanyl is. That's where people die a lot of the time, just getting fucking street fucking cocaine from whomever. They stuck fucking fentanyl in it and boom, you're fucking dead. But how many people fucking die from crack or well, I mean, meth lab explosions aside.
yeah, yeah,
Because that would fucking, depending on the size of your lab, could take a whole block out.
yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah,
Right? But I mean, I'm in no means standing up for any of that stuff because really it comes down to like how much you use and how fucking reliant you are on it. Then that makes you the junkie. Like usually it's like functioning people in society are not viewed that way. They're, you know, looking at, um just anyone uh who sits on that spectrum of using. Some people can hold down a fucking job and go to that every day and hold it down for years, you know? But they've just figured out the balance. They might have one or two fucking fucked up days or, whatever, but they can still fucking contribute to society. The junkies are the ones that can't.
yeah.
They literally are just a burden to
Like
society.
like the women,
Society is helping them live.
like the women who are prostituting just for drugs.
Yeah, it's like they know it's check day.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh man, like I've actually had a little bit of insight on like the Sally Ann, which is Salvation Army. It's like where they fucking have some of these people. It's like there is a bit of a housing crisis here. So, it just like kind of depends on what kind of help you've received. But the Sally Ann, it's a rough fucking place. Like my friend who's staying there, they're like, when it's check day, like the hookers are out because they know they can fucking get money from these people. It's a cycle. It's a fucking cycle. It's a fucked up cycle too. Like Like the hookers go out to suck dick to get fucking drugs, and the other guys are getting the dick sucked because they're high on drugs, and they're probably like, like it's a fucking, and then people are rolling people too, because it's like, oh, you got money, like I want more drugs, like
And
it's
Halifax is a port city, so a lot of it
insane.
coming in there. And
We got some nutters here, yo. Like that, I'm telling you, any place where there's a fucking port, people are nuts, man. They're just nuts. And it's like you want to say it's drunken sailors, but none of us really sail. We're just here. Like we don't do that. Like we just fucking drink and fight and fuck.
yeah.
Oh man, it's so great. All right.
So what's your last confession?
My last one, just one sec here. Fucking my phone did a thing here. It is called sucking.
Oh,
I learned at an early age that if you can't stand sucking dick, you won't be very successful in a relationship. And sure enough, my mouth has made me a much desirable date. I made, I know, right? I'm like, ooh. I made all wait till the end of the week to ask me out. Whoever got to me first got me. Most of my girlfriends didn't like me for that. It made them feel like they were second best, but oh well. I don't even know what, like, her writing sucks. I'm sorry.
yeah. Just like most.
Even though I could have about just about any boy in the school. Oh, she's young. The only time I almost got pregnant was with Mr. Wesley. Mr. Wesley. I had to get a better grade, and sucking him all year long, I let him fuck me without a condom, even though he pulled it. He pulled out. It almost got me in trouble. I don't know. Part of this sounds like a fantasy, but well,
Yeah.
it's like entertainment. Like it's not. Um, I didn't suck a lot of dick in school. Like,
Yeah, there was this. Maybe it was later on, but
yeah.
I've heard about these parties where like teenagers are. It's a teenage party, and like a few girls will put on different colors of lipstick, and they'll suck
Oh
one.
yeah, yeah, and there's like bandanas and
Yeah,
wristbands, and I heard things like that too.
I think it's called a rainbow party, actually.
Oh yeah, fucking horny teenagers. Where was that when I was young, man?
Nobody was doing that when I was in junior high. There's no way.
I made out with people in junior high. Like that's all I did. Like I would literally I would have a boyfriend for like a week and be like, yeah, shit. So I was at this party and I accidentally made out with this guy, so we're breaking up now because I feel bad. You know, like I'm like it was literally just making out with people. Like I was not a virgin at that time, but I made out with a lot of people. Wait. No, I mean, okay, so that was right around the time I lost it. So like, yeah, that was a quick one actually.
Yeah.
Like the first person I made out with, like word got around the school and like I don't know, like I don't think I was viewed as the slutty one, but like I was probably the slutty one for a hot minute.
Maybe.
I
Just
was
don't
the new
down
kid,
for it.
man. Like I was the new kid, and I was happy to have a boyfriend or like a couple, or like just people were interested in me, and that's all I cared about. I was like, yay.
You wanted to be liked, you.
Well, I mean, I was horny too, man. Like I'm just gonna be right out with it. Like I was like, I want to make out and
You were
stuff.
in heat.
Oh yeah, probably. Probably. Fuck, like, oh, this is a conversation that I had the other day, and it's funny. Um, Usually you're the one that brings up my boss, but I'm bringing her up this time. And she listens to all of our podcasts, by the way, which is like really awesome. I actually like kind of take that as like a compliment. Because I'm like, cool. She'll listen to me outside of work.
She likes to hear her her name mentioned.
I mean, who doesn't, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, I was explaining to her lover, I guess, at this point in time, and I was explaining to him how shit like just fucking changes on you as you get older. Like, he's a bit younger, and we're older, so like I'm basically almost 40. She's like, around my age anyway. So we're experiencing the same kind of like shift in our hormones. And
Yeah.
it's weird because it's like I've never masturbated every fucking goddamn day of the week uh since I was like a teenager, and I'm doing it again. Like it's like
Well,
this
this is like your sexual peak, isn't it?
I thought it was supposed to be 30.
Oh,
There was commercials back in the 90s where it was like 18 and 30 was like the dude was supposed to be 18 and then the woman was supposed to be 30, and that was like the sexual peak,
well,
like
I thought it was supposed to be like closer to 40 because that's when
yeah,
the biological clock is winding down and
yeah, I mean it could be different. Like it could be different for everybody, and that could have been older studies too, because that was in the 90s when that shit was running. Because I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like I'm watching this commercial, I'm like, am I gonna be like really fucked later in life? Because I'm like super horny now.
that was probably
But
that was
you're a
probably no,
teenager.
you probably were just as horny as most girls were. They just didn't want to admit it. So,
Yeah, and I mean, I came from a time where you would like rumors would go around, she's a slut, blah blah blah. Like shit was bad back then. Like things are probably a little bit better. Like I would assume now, because I mean, fuck, like you told something to somebody and they're like all of a sudden the whole school knew your business at the end of the fucking day. And it was bullshit. It's because we didn't have fucking phones. We
were
didn't
you?
have other things to preoccupy ourselves. We just fucking,
Yeah, that's
you
right.
know.
Were you living in Nova Scotia at that time?
Yeah. Yeah, I was in
Do you,
Lower Sackville.
do you remember hearing about the Rebecca Parsons story?
And the Ratea,
Oh,
was it
that was her name. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
Was it Ratea Parsons?
yeah,
And
that was
there's a
wrong.
couple people actually, I think.
You knew a
I think
couple
there's a
that were
couple.
involved with that.
I don't know. No, I didn't know anybody that was like,
Oh,
I just knew people that did like fundraisers and stuff for that.
oh,
But
yeah,
it was
yeah.
Ratea. I think it was Ratea Parsons. I know it, like the first name was Ratea, and like it was fucking dirty what they fucking did to her. That's the whole 13 reasons like kind of scenario.
Yeah,
You know,
I did an episode about bullying, and that was one of the stories, but it was so long ago. But I
it's
remember
so
so
shit.
these guys got her drunk or something, and they
Yeah.
gang raped her actually, and
Yeah.
then photographed it and like sent it around, which would be
Mhm.
mortifying, especially for a young girl like that. And
Yeah.
so she was mortified and killed herself, right?
hmm That shouldn't have happened. And like honestly, I really hope that that stuff just like fucking lives with those people until they die. Cause like that honestly, that's unforgivable. Like you think it's all fucking like who like you're a sick motherfucker if you think that's fucking like worth some laughs and whatever. Like gang raping somebody, you took away their consent. You're gang raping her and you're humiliating her. Like, what the fuck else was she gonna do? I would want to
Yeah.
fucking die too.
And when
You
you're in
know,
high school, that kind of humiliation is big time. That's
it's huge. You
like
can't come back from that.
we forget, as adults what that's like, but when you're actually in high
Mm.
school.
It's mortifying. And you know what? Like, the thing is, like, yeah, if you make it through all that and you just go on and do your fucking life, people do eventually forget some things. But, like, I kind of feel like she is a hero for what she did. She needed, like, that was a lesson that needed to be learned. You don't fuck with people like that. Like, you just don't. Like, that's just, like, that's so sick and deprived. And, like, it's just, like, it's fucking sad. This poor girl, like, like, whatever the circumstances were. And, like, yeah, she would have been, like, fucking, they got her drunk. And, like, you never know. Like, sometimes girls do have a good time during some things, but, like, by the sounds of it, this is a gang rape, right?
It was.
So, she probably wasn't having a fucking good time. So she's like, not only is she going through all of that, she has that fucking, like, seared into her brain. She knows that all these people, all her peers have seen it. She can't show her face at school. She would have to, like, be like, yo, we gotta pick up and move. Like, we gotta get out of here if she wanted to live.
Or transfer to another school.
Yeah, like, that's what you do. You transfer to another school or you go, like, but I mean, even then, social media, man, like, there's ways, like, things will, like, you
Yeah,
don't always forget your past.
it would definitely be worse now. I don't think there was any social media when that happened. But yeah, they had cell
They
phones.
had recordings and
Yeah.
stuff, like, yeah, it would be like 13 ways or 13 reasons where they, like, would send pictures and, like, things like that, right? Like,
Yeah, for sure.
that sort of thing. It'd be similar to that. I think it was around that time. It was like, what, like 2008, 9? Maybe less, or wait, more than that. Like, I don't know if I was here for that. I may have moved away, but um yeah, like, it's so shitty because it's like, that's something that's like, you should be able to be free and open and non-judgmental about how you are with things, but when people make it a big deal, they, you know, they tear somebody down with that. It's not a good scene. Like, you can't, like, there's, maybe you didn't have the wits about you. Maybe you did enjoy it. And, like, so what if you did? Like, fuck, like, this world, like, we're all fucked up, honestly.
Well, we know the people who would have judged her would have been other girls, right? They would have.
Yeah, and that's, like, they're so catty and
The
bitchy.
boys wouldn't care. The boys would just be
The
turned
boys
on.
would just be like, yo, you got, like, dates forever.
Yeah,
Like,
it's girls who would judge you.
yeah, totally.
Well, on that note,
Yeah, we fucking went, like, long this time. I like
that's
it.
right. Made up for the lost week.
Yeah, well, I mean, we had to build it up though, because I
Yeah,
noticed, like, when I went to, like, check last week, there was still, like, the couple, like, it looked like it was at a couple that we left off on. Like, there was only a couple new ones. So
it,
we
it's
we
like
kind of did everything a favor, like, everybody a favor by getting more content.
it's like if a guy's visiting relatives for a week and he doesn't masturbate the whole time because he's at
Just blow your load.
yeah, and then the next time, it's really built up. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
And
I,
on that note,
well, thank you, my dear, for joining me, and
it's always a fucking pleasure.
I hope you're gonna do Papo next Saturday.
Yes, I'm gonna do it.
And I'm
We
gonna
really should go just a little earlier because it's like, it goes so late for me. Just 1 hour. That's all I ask. Just one little hour.
yeah, and I'm gonna ask everybody to wear a Santa hat too. So yeah.
Oh shit. Are we? Oh, okay. Are we Christmassy?
Yeah, I think they're if you go to like Dollarama, I think they're just like $2 or $3.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Like, I got a sweater. It
Well, if you
says
want to
it's
wear more
like
Christmas stuff, there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe wear like
Yeah.
garland as a necklace or
Oh
something.
man, I'll figure some shit out. We got some shit here. I'll
Yeah.
be
All right. Thank you very much, my dear. Have yourself a great night.
All right, you too.
All right. Take care.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.
Bye.